The burning bush. It was a mirror, a spiritual mirror that Moses approached and saw that I am called to be a deliverer. For 8 years of my life, I've never realized this. That I'm called to be a deliverer. The body was a mirror that made him see the real him. But from the day he was born, he was called. You read the book of Jeremiah. When Jeremiah was arguing with God about what God asked him to do, God told him, this is always my time. You think this thing is happening because I'm talking to you now? No. He said, before you were born, before you were born, I set you apart. So be a prophet. You think it's happening because I'm talking to you now? It's not now. If before you were born, I've already equipped you, put everything. So if it was not before you were born, that would tell you it's not about what you want. It's about It's not about what you want, it's about what you want. This is why we're having a problem today in Christian faith. Countless people are in the job for what they want. They almost see some of us now. Countless people are in the job for what you want. And they are telling people that God is out to do for you what you want. But you must come back to the reality that before you were born, God has already assigned what He wants you to do. Not what you want, what He wants you to do. He has already assigned it in you. But most times, it takes at a particular age for you to discover that this is what I am called to do. So I'm telling you, when it comes to working with God, I struggle to mind, and I thank God I discovered the mind, and I'm not learning to cope with it. When it comes to working with God, the first thing that will hit you is disappointment. Not one of us, but the one in the future here and the person. I'm not talking of those who are practicing witchcraft and deceiving people that are Christians. You don't have a lot of them. They are Christians, they are practicing their witchcraft, they are just witches. Carrying cross, wearing cross in their neck, carrying chaplets, going around, going to church program, do marriage in the church, but they are not Christians. But I'm not talking of these people. Those people, they have their own theology. Okay? I'm talking of people who believe Christ according to this gospel of truth and accepted to follow Christ without connection to any other spiritual power. That is what I'm talking about. If you are not those group of people, believe me, I want to help you so that you stop being deceived. So that you stop being deceived by these teachings that are heard everywhere, where people are giving you the impression that God is calling you to do what you want. God is not calling you to do what you want. God is calling you for you to realize what He raised you to do. What He wants you to do. All of them the scriptures. Genesis to Revelation, I can guarantee you can't do a description. All of them, God did not give them what they want. God gave them what He wants. Those of them who finally got something from God, God gave them those things as a reward for doing what He wants. So you that come to God, Pastor, I want a job, and you pray for first week, 2 weeks, the job is not coming, you leave the church. It's not what you're saying. You come to God, Pastor, I want to marry. That's why you came to God. That's why you became a Christian. Because if somebody told there's one pastor that prayed for me, I got married, please come, let's go. You pray for you, get married, you pray for him to pray to you to get married, and that is the mentality you have. That is the mentality of pagans. If you read the book of Kings, you see the Israel slave girl that told his master's wife that there is a prophet in Israel that can heal you of leprosy. That is the mentality of pagan because Naaman is a pagan. He's not a Jew. He's a pagan. And you see that account, you can see that when he came to Elijah was not interested to have dialogue with him. He doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to talk with him because this person is not coming because he cares about what God wants. He's coming because he wants solution. but because he came by faith of an Israelite slave. Elijah just gave a solution to him, but I don't need to see him. I don't need to be his friend. People need to understand the Bible. I don't need to be friends with the player. I have the authority to give him what he wants. But this approach to God is not the right approach. You don't come to God for what you want and get it. So because Elijah let you know that this approach is not God works with you. So he refused to even be a friend to him. He didn't want to talk with him. He didn't come to greet him. He just asked him to tell what to do and do to be free. He gave him a test. A test to pass before he can be free. In other words, you want to be free? You have come to my God. Your problem is pride. By the time you remove pride in you, you'll be healed. And that's what God named and healed. I don't want to go to that. But what I want you to understand is all of them, the scriptures here, they came to God. God revealed to them who they are. Revealed to them what He raised them to do. And even when they had a body in their heart, God, I want a child like Abraham. Okay? Hannah, I want a baby too. Even when they had a body in their heart, God made them see that that body is the end result. But this they're asking me is the end result. But what I want you to do is the first action. You must get yourself involved. Your problem is not a child. Your problem is discovering who you are. Your problem is to find out what I raised you to do. This is your clamoring on. It's not your problem. Don't worry, do what I asked you to do. I will give you this one. So if you see all of them in the scriptures, from Genesis to Revelation, I can confidently tell you that God gave him what he wants. Not what he wants. So if we look at, if we go to Genesis, when I talk about disappointment, if you go to Genesis 6, verse 9, you see the account of one of the dynamic prophets of God, Noah. It's the account of Noah. Let me ask a question. Compare it what you see today. God called somebody because of the wickedness on earth, the evil, the atrocities, the level of violence that men's hearts have been inclined to. Genesis 6 verse, I think 6 verse 5 and 6, you see where God regretted creating man. That word is mind-blowing. The God that knows everything created man, but got to a point, he was like, if I knew, I would have created man. If we were to look at that word, it says God regretted creating man. And what made him to regret creating man? It's not because men were doing what they liked, because men were doing things that are evil. We can say every inclination of their heart. That means whenever they think to do something, they look at it from an evil way. Believe me if I tell you that what God saw in the days of Noah is the chance play to what is happening today. What God saw in the days of Noah is a child's play to the level of evil and wickedness that's happening today. But let me not go to that. So, as a result of this degenerated society that is inclined to evil and wickedness and all that, God called a man Noah. And why God called Noah, it is spelled out in the scriptures. It's not because Noah was a criminal. It's not because Noah was a murderer, as we see today. Yeah? It was Noah was a righteous man. A man who understood that there are certain things people around him do that are wrong. He did not get anybody to preach to him. Hello? Amen. There were no pastors. There were no prophets that spoke to Noah. That's why I always tell you that God's command is already in you. when you are created, it's part of the creation. It's a software in you. God's rules and laws. It's in you. What this Bible do to us, or what the Ten Commandments did for the people of Israel, is to remind them of what's already in them. Moral attitude, moral restrictions, morality was created in you when you were born. When you were born, you had it inside you. If you read the Bible, you see that Noah has no pastor that preached to him. Noah has no prophet that taught him. But Noah has instincts. He understood it is wrong to do this. He understood it's wrong to shed an innocent blood. He understood that it's wrong for me to steal what is not my own. So even when he was in society, when people see what belongs to others, they take it and run away. Now we see it, he pretends to be hungry. He pretends to manage a little hands and to take what is not his own. Not because a prophet taught him, not because a pastor was guiding him, but because it is in him. Morality is, you are born with morality, you are born with it. So stop giving excuses that nobody guided you, nobody taught you. It is inside you. You are the one that rejected that voice of truth, that voice of rightness, uprightness. You are the one that rejected it. It wasn't you, but you rejected it. And you chose to do what is wrong. So in the days of Noah, God found a man who listens to the voice of his spirit, the voice of truth, not the voice of the flesh. And God said, no, this man is doing it right. Let me call him to come do the work. I feel like preaching a lot of things today, but I just want to know myself. Let me come to God do the work. It's so fair today that today we are seeing people who don't have any moral compass. We are seeing people who eat and dine with them, who do all kinds of wickedness, coming to tell me and you that they are apostles, to tell me and you that they are prophets. Heartless, wicked people, who if they give you a video clip of some of the things they do in secret, it will shock you that you will faint. Standing in pulpit, giving prophecies, calling names, and people are gathered around. It's very unapologetic. They are appalling. That is the society today. But we saw in the book of Genesis 6 verse 9 that God called Noah. And the Bible said it very clear. Noah was a righteous man. Very simple qualification. Simple qualification. He was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time. And he walked faithfully with God. This qualification, this credential is one thing that if you have it, you can serve God. Huh? He's a righteous man, blameless among people of his time. To be blameless, nobody will say, no, I did this thing to me. Nobody will come out and accuse Noah of raping himself, accuse Noah of stealing from him. Nobody will accuse Noah of stealing his property, of lying against him, of dragging his life with him. Nobody accused Noah of insulting him, calling names, or gossiping against him when saying things that he never did. Nobody accused me. That's what it means that to be blameless among people of his time. That was the credential Noah had, and God called him. Upon he was upright like that. He still faced disappointment. He still faced disappointment when God called him.